Hello and welcome. And before you click off, you're going to want to watch this episode because I can't stress enough. Whatever's in this bag is probably the best Facebook Marketplace thing I've ever picked up in my reselling career. So stick around like this podcast because it is going to be phenomenal. I can't stress enough. It's not clickbait. You're going to think it's probably the best thing you see this week. And welcome to what episode? 38.
38. Crikey, we've nearly made 40 episodes. That's nearly unreal.
Right, I'm surprised.
Do I cry now because our little boy's all grown up and left us home? I was
going to say we've already gone through like 19 co-hosts this like in 40 episodes. So look at us go. But as Granny's alluded to, Blake's flown the coop. I think he's gone to live with Commonwealth Picker by the looks of
it. Or he might have got lost in Willy Wonka's chocolate factory.
Well, I don't know. Well, I did see him doing he did his best to hold the fort last week with Minion Jay when you and I were off looking for Blake in our previous adventures. And we did go to the Willy Wonka chocolate factory experience in Glasgow and we hung out with the unknown. Slightly creepy fellow, but other than that, pretty good.
Experience that was, though, wasn't it?
Well, it's almost as bad as watching a couple of the American YouTubers, so no different to that. So, but besides that, Granny, how you been? How was the trip back?
Oh, well, very tiring, very tiring. But yes, other than that, all's good with the world now, thankfully. That's
right, yes. And we, Blake did leave amicably. We did ask him to go and he agreed to. No, but no, now that I'm a full-time working octopus, we have to record on a Sunday. And, and like I've said numerous times to Blake and to Leanne is that if that doesn't work with your schedule, you're not being tied to this place. I understand that, that you've got a family life and all those different things. And Blake's been, quite young with a young family and all those different things. So I don't want to take that away from him. He will probably pop back on occasion when he is available and when he's free and he wants to. So he's not been completely ostracized from the podcast. Like, what's the one in America that they keep dropping people off? The Locker Room podcast.
Yes, that's right.
Flips is on. So
yes,
I think they keep shunning people and banishing them off to the corner. It's like shoo, off you go. But Blake's more than
family's always got to come first, hasn't it? That's
right. And beside my attempts of taking his family out, I wasn't successful. So unfortunately, we've lost Blake for the time being. And I think he's, from our previous conversations, and I don't want to overstep what Blake and I have spoken about, and Leanne as well, is that I think he's taking some time away from YouTube in some capacity. He doesn't want to he wants to focus on his business because he's obviously life changes and all those different things that are going on for him at the moment. Big exciting things coming up for Blake, and he wants to focus on generating money, not the $1.32 that our episodes generate a week.
Yes.
And I owe you both 86 cents each for your previous work.
Well, I think he feels that it's probably more prevalent, and better for him to be putting this time into doing more listing and looking after his, eBay and Depop stores and actually generating some actual, decent money because he's just bought a house and just got engaged. So he's got, all that expensive stuff. So, yeah. So
what you're saying is Lisa's chasing him around with a stick. Is that
something like that, I think.
We'll blame her. Yeah. But, I don't know about Granny, but like I do this for pure entertainment. I quite enjoy it. So it's not, we're not making big bucks in any capacity, like I said, but and Commonwealth Picker said it on the Trash to Cash podcast. If you are looking at making a podcast, and every man in their octopus does at the moment, is that you don't generate any income from it. Like we probably get like $1.42 an episode. My shorts pay better than that. I get $1.20 from a short. So like I said, it's not big revenue. It's more getting ourselves out there, like a networking experience.
Yes, but that being said, there's not a lot. They do start, but they don't keep going. As many as 38 episodes, do they now?
That's right. Well, that's right. What do we say? People don't get to episode 20 before they give up. So,
yep, exactly.
Yeah, we're twice as good as everyone else. There we go.
No, definitely.
Definitely. No, it's definitely an enjoyable experience. And, I quite like the community aspect because, a lot of people reach out to us and engage with us and, start fights with us. And I think it's the other way around. We probably start fights with other people. But, it's good, like I said. But Blake's more than welcome to pop on anytime he wants. And that goes for anyone. If you want to pop in and if you're available on a Sunday afternoon for an hour, you want to do some recording, just drop either Granny or I a message, and we'll have you on. And that goes for everyone. Like, you don't have to be in Australia; you can be international if you want. And if you want to get your profile out there, you're more than welcome to to come onto the worst reselling podcast ever, because you can't do worse than us.
Exactly. Yeah. By all means, reach out to us, because we'll have a chat with you, and it'd be good. Just like I went and did a guest appearance on the eBay Power Hour before it died in the
arse. Well, that's right. Well, like I said.
So, it must be me. I killed Poshmark, and now I've killed...
Well, that's right. I just kill our relationship with Australian resellers, and you just kill off international podcasts and companies. So,
exactly.
So no, it's good. Like, we quite enjoy it. Today, besides obviously unboxing what's in there, and like I said, I can't stress enough that I was talking to Granny and Blake earlier, is that I pretty much dropped everything and drove 30 minutes to go pick it up, because it is probably the best Facebook Marketplace pickup that I've ever done, and I've done a lot of phenomenal ones. So, and
I was going to say, it must be good, because I know of some of your previous efforts, and so it's going to be good, I think. Yeah,
and I will give a hint. It's a bit retro. Like, it's probably something that not
nothing wrong with a bit of retro.
Well, that's right. Like not everyone will probably salivate as much as I am. Like, I'm dribbling at the moment. I have to kind of keep my chin, but it's probably the best thing, and it's something I'll probably cherry pick what I want to keep for my personal collection, then pass it off the rest through eBay. But I paid $120 for it, and one of the things in there will pay for the whole thing. So like I said, I'll get in there a bit further. But this week we want to talk about a bit about Facebook groups. We have noticed some, how would you say, Granny? Interesting questions and lines of thoughts in Facebook groups. So we want to touch base on that. We want to probably, especially if you're new to reselling, there's a lot of fantastic channels out there you can reference, like Grumpy Granny's channel. She primarily deals with dumb people, so you could go there, or you can go to the Two Aussie Thrifters. I'm trying to insult people already. Go to Two Aussie Thrifters, Diary of a Flipper if you're that way inclined.
Because I think one of the most frustrating things I find is that, because when I first started, I watched the YouTube videos and stuff, and it was only after I watched something and still couldn't work it out that I'd ask the question. Whereas I'm just finding in these Facebook groups that people they're not even bothering doing any research at all. They don't Google it. They don't check anything. They just come straight into the Facebook group and ask, expecting to be spoon-fed the answer. And that's frustrating, because then when you do give them the answer, you're taking your time out and giving your effort and your time that's taken away from your business to help someone out. And then inevitably they either A, ignore your answer because you're not telling them what they want to hear, or in the case I had one the other day where I answered the guy's question and he came back and said, well, I know how to do that. That wasn't what he was asking. So he didn't ask what his question didn't ask what it was he that's messy, isn't it? The way he phrased the question wasn't what he wanted the answer for.
So what Freddie was talking about is basically this gentleman wanted to know what the cheapest way to sell a product was, where everyone in the group, and myself included, we thought that he was basically trying to work out the best packaging option, but no, he wanted to send it the cheapest way possible, which if you're a new reseller, hello and welcome. Hopefully you're here in a couple of months. But what it comes down to in Australia is that you either send DVDs or video games untracked, like I'm talking about disc-based media, so like PlayStation games or Xbox games or DVDs, untracked, and that's what I normally do if it's under $30. You can send them tracked like the Aussie Flipper does. Realistically, in the grand scheme of things, there's no right or wrong way, right? So that's about $6, or you send it as a parcel. So if it's over 2 centimeters in thickness, so probably just shy of an inch, if it's just shy of an inch, you can send it for like $2.20 or $2.50 or whatever it is, postage. But that's the cheapest rate. So if, like I said, for this particular example, it was a hat, right?
Yes.
There was people telling him to vacuum seal a hat. Like
hat in an envelope, in a paper envelope. Like, honestly.
We're not having a go at people, right? And by all means, we've pissed off a lot of people in the reselling community already. We don't want to piss off anymore, but please, not intentionally, much to the contrary to popular belief. But what it is that yeah, like Granny was saying, is that like my personal stance is that there's no such thing as a stupid question, right? Like, by all means, ask your questions, because I'd rather help someone than make a complete arse of themselves or completely screw something up where it results in, like I did a video a couple of weeks ago that results in you losing your account, or all these different things that come into play, right? But like Rennie was saying, is that you're a business owner. I don't care who you watch or who you listen to or what theory of reselling you subscribe to. You are a business owner, right? So you're not going to have tech and sports spoon feed you everything because you watch his weekly video or you join his Facebook group and all those different things. I don't particularly care about that, right? So what it comes down to is your business. Like, and I was watching TikTok today because I'm a pretty hip hop octopus now, Granny. But I was watching TikTok. And the founder of Boost came up in one of those TikToks. I don't know what to call them. Are they called ticks? Are they called toks? Or are they called TikToks?
I don't know. They're called TikToks, aren't they? Just TikToks.
Well, I'm not too sure. Well, if you're young and hip and and you're cool and you're with it, put it in the comment section below, because I have no idea what's going on. Yeah. But the founder of Boost Juice came on and she was basically saying that there's no better thing in business than your personal brand. So realistically, when you engage with your customers, the likelihood of them coming back goes off the the purpose of how you interact with them, right? What I've said before is that you don't want to be cancelling orders. If you for example, if I lose a video game, and it happens to everyone, don't get me wrong. Like you lose a video game, you can't find it. Go onto eBay, find someone else. Maybe Grumpy Granny has that video game, right? And have that, buy it from Grumpy Granny and send it to that person. Like, drop ship it in that respect.
Exactly.
Don't cancel it. Don't reach out and say, hey, look, there's a big kerfuffle. Don't reach out and puff your chest out and say, hey, look, I lost it, but I bought it off Grumpy Granny. Give me all this feedback and how fantastic I am. Keep the
under the radar.
That's right. Keep the customer in the dark about it, right? Because they don't care. They just, regardless of what people think, they don't care who you are, unless you're on YouTube. You're the Commonwealth Picker, and they're buying specifically off you because they think they're buying off the Commonwealth Picker. They just want their product. They don't care if you've got like 500 subscribers or 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. More often than not, they want their product. They don't care how that product gets to them. Just give them their bloody product. So don't send hats in vacuum sealed padded mailers or all these different things.
Because honestly, I mean, and that was probably one of the things, because this guy asked the question late at night and no one else had actually given him an answer at that stage. And I thought, I mean, there's other people that can probably, word it more succinctly than I can, but I thought I'll just do it. So I spent 10 minutes and, explained to him how to get a cardboard box, where to get one cheap, like go to Bunnings and get a free one, blah, 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 all the rest of it. Because, most people buying caps, or a lot of them, have cap collections if they're buying them off eBay. So they want their hats nice, and even if they're not paying a lot for it, they still want it to come nice, and they don't want the top part all squashed down, and they don't want the visor part all bent. So you put it in a box. It's easy. And if you get a box that's nice and light, then you can send it, and it's easy to send a hat that weighs in total under 500 grams, even if it's in a box, because then it ships for the same price as a small padded mailer or a small satchel.
Yeah, that's right. And I send all my hats or my caps, I suppose, in small boxes through Australia Post, right? Because I've reached out to a few people in the reselling space that do hats, because I've sold probably 3 hats in my reselling career, less shoes, but yeah, like I was saying, is that you send it in a small box. Use like we said in the previous episodes, is that before you try and sell stuff on eBay, work out how the bloody hell you're going to send it. Like, don't even pick it up unless you know how to send it, because like I said, that there's nothing wrong with learning, as you can see. What I will show you for Octo's show and tell this week, because like this week's been gone bananas, but I've broken my streak of incompetence picking up all these crap that actually got some decent stuff this week. But like I was saying, is that if you're seasoned enough as a reseller, and this is not a dig at anyone or basically a throwdown on people just coming into the reselling space, is that if you've been doing reselling for a little bit, you'll actually learn almost by osmosis what things can go in and what things could fit in and all these different things, and what the weight things are and all these different things. But I would recommend to, if you're brand new in the reselling space, stick to small, medium, large, and extra large Australia Post packaging, because you can do worse than that.
Exactly. And look, the thing is, even if you've already bought stuff, But if you haven't listed it, don't list it until you've actually worked out your shipping stuff. Because you're going to stuff up if you do. And something like a hat that does need to be, sent in a box. And I find that even with putting the protective sleeves around my book sometimes, if they're going internationally, that cardboard sleeve can actually put it up into the next weight range if you're not careful. So you need to have all those things taken into account before you go listing them.
Well, that's exactly right. And, and especially if you are shipping international, and I'm a big person or a big octopus in matter of fact.
We know this.
For shipping.
Don't you keep telling us?
You forgot handsome as well, Leanne. Don't forget the handsome bit. But the thing is, though, that I believe as soon as you've got down the basics of reselling, you need to turn international shipping on, because a lot of my sales lately, and I've said this to Soda City Flips the other day, I had a chat to him about that of all things, was that, international sales have been saving me in the last week, because my sales in Australia are all but dried up. But the international are picking up Skylanders, they're picking up a lot of the collectible items that I've got, because they've just, in America, it's just clicked over tax time. So a lot of people are getting their refunds. So a lot of things are doing all these different things. So, and this is another thing that we see in the Facebook marketplace, in the Facebook groups, is that people are saying, hey, look, where's my sales? Or eBay's not, pumping out a ratio that I'm happy with in regards to what I've been putting in. At no point does anyone, and I say this, and like I said, we've made a lot of enemies in the reselling space, especially in Australia, but I've watched their videos and I still respect them to a degree. But the fact of the matter is they all say the same thing, right? No one's giving you crosswise, is that eBay does not guarantee you anything, or nor do they owe you anything. So don't think that if you spend 15 hours on eBay, listing your rubber band collection, that you're going to start getting $15,000 in sales. And this is an issue that I've had previously in previous groups that I have mentioned previously in in previous episodes, where people think that they think that if they join a group or they go to a book fair and buy thousands and thousands of dollars a book, then work for 3 hours, that they'll be, getting $1,500 or $2,000 a week from eBay. eBay, you're running a business. Like, there is no guarantees in business. If you want a steady paycheck, be like me, go back to work 9 to 5. When Shane and I were talking yesterday, like Soda City Flips, is that even he was saying, look, he wouldn't go full time in this current environment. You need to be very mindful. And I think what I've said previously as well is that you've got no one to impress by yourself. Like, don't try and keep up with the Joneses and go, hey, look, I really like Grumpy Granny and she's full time, so I'm going to try and imitate her and go full time. That's a recipe for disaster. And I'm finding that more and more in the reselling space. We have addressed that in previous lives. And
I have to say, like, when I first started, like, being a full-time reseller was like a badge of honor. Almost, like you were super duper because you were full time. But I mean, it all depends on your circumstances. And we've talked about that in my regard a lot, because, my circumstances based on my locality in particular and my, age and, other things, my circumstances are completely different than what someone else's are. And I said to you, and both to you and Blake, when you first mentioned about going back to work, and I said, well, you're mad if you don't, because if I was younger and, fitter and had the ability, and the availability of the job, eBay is such a great side hustle. But if you've got your full-time income coming in and you've got that side hustle, great. Excellent.
And that's what it is. And we don't talk about it. And there's very few that talk about it. I know that Brad and Jazz spoke about it in a previous episode. I can't remember what they spoke about it in, but in Australia, we have a system called superannuation, right? So basically a little bit of your wage is put into like a superannuation fund. In America, I think it's very similar to your 401k, where you basically for your retirement fund. If you're doing a full-time reselling gig, there's more often than I speak to a lot of people in this space, is that they don't put anything towards their retirement. They don't put anything towards their superannuation or their 401k. And they just go, and then the mentality about it, and this is nothing, like I said, everyone's different, everyone's mindset's different, and go for gold. I'll resell until the day I die because I love it. Well, what happens if you become incapacitated? You have a stroke, or that you're unable to do it because you pulled your back out, or something along the lines. All these different variables come into play that, without, and you kind of left destitute, living on, government welfare for the rest of your life, kind of things, all these different things. So, but definitely agree, and a very strong advocate. if you don't like the job you're in, improve yourself and find another job. Well, I don't think that reselling full time's the begin and end all. And yeah, yes, I am guilty of that, right? Because I did get sick of my previous job and gave him the tentacle, then basically went full time. But I quickly realised that there was a good year of reselling. I had a good 12 months of reselling, and I was making just as much, if not more, than what I was doing full time. And I said in a previous episode how much I'm on now, which is comparable to where I was when I left. But then last year, that a lot of people reference it in the YouTube channels and the YouTube videos, is that around April last year, just the brakes went on, pretty much. And from my perspective, is that I list a lot of high product things, right? So a lot of high price products. I don't subscribe to the you need to list 20 items a day for $20 profit and all those different things. There's nothing wrong if you do that, but there's different models, right? So there's no stock standard eBay model. So I was doing cracking, maybe doing $5,000 worth of product a week, just uploading that. And if I did it in a day, and for the rest of the week, or vice versa, I could do it at the spread of the week. So there was no really discrepancy of when I uploaded into the system comparison to sales. But since April last year, is that it's just so unreliable and
yes,
it's really hard to track and all these different things. And
it's become we've had to pivot a lot. We've talked about this many times, and even myself back at that stage prior to April, I was very much one for niching down, because then you can get more items listed, et cetera, et cetera. But it's become a case now where I've said it before, that I firmly believe that you need that broader range of categories that you're selling in, so that if one's not doing well, you've got other ones that are doing, perhaps picking up the slack, and not to have all your eggs in one basket on one platform. And, so everyone knows I've gone to Depop as well. And
don't you say the cross-listing program, because we don't get sponsored. I always get mad at Blake for this.
Come on, you guys, sponsor us.
That's right.
And things like, listing on it. I'm about to start putting some books on Amazon, and, I'm looking into another couple of little side hustles as well. And you can't, as a whether you're an eBay reseller or a reseller in general, you can't be doing your business now the same way as what you were doing at this time last year. Doesn't work.
And that's right. And I suppose I will give you something for free, is that a lot of, and I've got to be very careful the way I put this, because heaven forbid I'll have all the lynch mobs after me again, is that a lot of YouTube celebrities, and I'll put it in that perspective, is they push clothing, right? Clothing is so saturated. It's so available. And I'll go back to my beloved auction professor. I respect that guy immensely. He said, don't sell stuff, the low-lying fruit. So if it's easy to get, as accessible, what's to stop anyone else doing that? With jeans, for example, I quite enjoy jeans, because that they're easy to list and all these different things, and they're plannable for me. What's to say that there's no difference to Granny or 4,000 other people in the jeans category, or whatever many there is? But other categories like Skylanders, there's a lot shorter. The Skylanders, to me, if you know the category back to front, there's less competition. There's higher sales. By all means, 99% of Skylanders are trash, but you can bundle them up, or you can sell them as individual figures. And people, you got two things, right? So the Skylanders, you got the video game element, so people collecting Skylanders. Maybe Granny's grandson got into the game, so they're after some cheap figures to supplement the game. Or alternatively, as well, you've also got people that are actually collecting the set because they like the statues, or they like displaying the little figures, and it's coming up to the nostalgia point, right? So the original Skylanders came out in 2000. I want to say 2011. Don't quote me on that, unless I'm right. Then quote me. But we're in 2000. That's 13 years ago, right? So basically, if you're saying that the Skylanders original game was probably based at that 8 to 11 years age. So you're looking at those kids now coming through, where they're adults, they got disposable income to some degree, so they are getting back into that category, right? So basically, and that's opening it back up, and I'm finding, especially in the last 12 months, is that Skylanders are becoming more and more relevant in this market. And like I said, it's not just Skylanders, right? So basically, look at niches, look at Ben 10, or look at Yu-Gi-Oh, and all these different things. So when they came out, look at it from that perspective. Pokemon, all these different things you can go into, and you just need to think outside the box and find things that you can sell from that perspective. So don't run to clothing because someone you see on YouTube, that spews clothing, because look at their videos. How many times have they been watched? So potentially, if they've been watched 50,000 times, that's 50,000 other people who'll be looking for clothes and flooding that market as well.
And you also need to look at too. The other thing with clothing is, like, it's one thing to say jeans, for example, but there's a big difference in the amount of people that are selling men's jeans versus women's jeans. And like I probably sell more women's jeans because I list more women's jeans, but there's 3 times as many people selling women's jeans as there are men's. So women's jeans again is even more highly saturated than men's, and men's is highly saturated. So whatever category you're selling in, you need to have a look at that as well. So, and because clothing itself is broad, there's all different types of subcategories within clothing. Are you going to do men's clothing? Are you going to do women's clothing? And what type of stuff are you going to do? So there's, there are lots of intricacies in there, but just be careful because, you might say, I'm going to do jeans, and then you go out and you source a heap of women's jeans thinking, oh, yeah, this will be great, and then come home and realise that, there are 4 times as many people selling women's jeans as there are men's.
Yeah, and that's right. And I suppose there's I'm probably going to get half the world's population chase me with a stick after this, but I find that, and I've got to say this politically as I can, is that a lot of female resellers do close. A lot of the entry-level ones, like the mums that are doing stuff like for side hustles and all those different things, that they do close because they know fashion, right? Like, I don't know fashion. All I know is if it's Levi's, it looks good, I'll pick it up. Like, as long as it's got no holes in it, all those different things. But but with women, they're more attuned to fashion sense. They're more in tune to what's in the market and all these different things. And they're quite easy. That comes a lot more natural to them, I suppose I should say.
Probably does. Yeah.
And it's something that they know back to front. And like I said, that women, especially ones with very small kids, and as guys to that degree as well, is that I think, like, especially me previously, my previous iterations when I sold Lego, is that you're more attuned to what's hot on the market at the moment, so you can do that retail arbitrage and all these different things. Because when my kids were younger, when I was selling Lego, I'd take them to the Lego section, and if they started picking up Lego sets and there's other kids in the aisle and they'd all pick up the same Lego set, I'd stock up on that Lego set because, that's what's, gravitating all the kids to it. Then come at Christmas time, I'd make a killing because, that Lego set was hot because that's what, it sold out and all these different things. So, parents with very small children, work better in that category because they know what their kids like. So, that's transferable.
Or as in my case, being a grandparent, and my grandchildren tell me what's what because I've got no idea. So,
Well, that's also, like, I suppose it comes down to being a competitive advantage because, Granny's, being 118 years old, she's lived through a lot of decades. That, if I walked to an op shop, I wouldn't know what a 70s clothes or 80s clothes was. But, Leanne been living through those decades and back through the 1940s as well. Hanging out with Kevin the Commonwealth Picker. You can identify what's out and all these different things, and by what that style is. Where I just walk in going, I have no idea. But on the flip side is if I walk into an op shop and I had all these video games, I would like wipe the floor with Leanne because I know exactly what's hot in the video game space where she wouldn't have an idea. But you've got the competitive advantage like aspects from your reselling. So work out where you fit in the spectrum. Learn that niche, go from there. I suppose that's the biggest thing. But
and look, just if you're a beginner and you're asking questions in Facebook group, that's all fine and well. Please look, it doesn't hurt you to Google the question first. Because often you can get the answer if you Google it or go into one of the AI machines and put it in there and it will give you the answer. And if not, then still go in and ask, and that's fine. But ask what it is that you want to know. Don't just do some broad question that doesn't make any sense because you're wasting everybody else's time. And then people get frustrated because you are. What are you putting your hand up for?
I've got to put interjection in, but you keep going.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, so in this case, the guy wanted to know were there any cheaper options than, sending it via Australia Post? No, sorry, there's not anything reliable or, that works well in Australia. It's not like in America where you've got several different options. So, no, there's not. But that's what you should have asked, not how can I send this hat cheap?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right. It all comes down to communication. And, and this will probably give away who my secret identity is. But if you see, if you put a question in there, for example, and I won't mention any names, but one a couple of weeks ago was that eBay charged them for a promotion or a sales event that they participated in. So basically, eBay took out X amount of dollars from my account. What's going on? So what happened is this person actually opted into a sale event, unbeknownst to them, because they'll fight. God help them. Someone try to tell them otherwise, they'll punch it on with everyone in the comment section as well. Like Liam was saying, not only are you wasting your own time, you're wasting the time of those trying to help you. But 99.9% of the questions that get asked in Facebook groups go to customer service on eBay, because if I tell you the answer and it's wrong, eBay's not going to take, well, hey, listen, I spoke to the Octopus and the Octopus told me this was the case. Don't care. It's not eBay's policy. You go to the customer service, go to eBay customer service, and they give you the wrong answer or they give you the wrong response. You get the little transcript. You go speak to a different person and say, hey, I did exactly what this person said and it was wrong. This is now eBay's problem. So that that eBay will be more attuned to help you with that situation. If you ask random people on the internet, and this is what I'm going back to the second part of the question, is like reseller morals. What's to say that Grumpy Granny and me, John the reseller, Mel back from Burnout, Aussie Thrifters, the Aussie Flipper, and all these different people, I would like to say we're generally have the best interests of our best interests of our followers or fans or viewers or whatever you want to call yourselves at heart, right? But there's not to say that everyone thinks that way, right? Like 99% of resellers that have been around for a while, they do want to help people out. But what happens when you get a rogue person that basically says, well, screw this, I'm going to make this person's selling in my category, they're in the Skylander category, I'm going to tell them the wrong thing, so then basically they get their account banned and now they're gone. So you need to be very mindful of what people's alliances lay in Facebook groups, right? So eBay, a lot of people crack the shit, they charge 20% fees and all these different things. They're also giving you the answers, right? So don't, unless you have a very specific question or it falls outside the realm of eBay, like, what's the best places to source? Because eBay can't help you with that, right? Or neither will anyone else for that matter. But, if it comes, why did you take this money out of my account? Go to eBay. eBay will tell you. Like, you clicked on this email, you opted into the promotion, you're paying for the promotion. And by all means, and I've said it numerous times before, do not opt in for any of those 15 to 17% off promotions that you get in your email. I did have a bit of a... there is no transparency with them, and you'll end up, weeks will go by and you'll think, oh, well, that must not cost me anything. And then all of a sudden you'll get a big lump sum taken out of your eBay money. You'll be thinking, oh, I should have got paid $160 this week and now I owe them $300, well, it's too late then. Because I had a lover's tiff with someone in the comment section in the sense of saying, hey, look, you're saying, well, you're invited, but invited and enrolled are two different things, right? So when you actually, if you ignore the email, they can't enroll you by virtue of ignoring the email, right? So the Australian government, and I'm pretty sure the American and the UK and everyone else in between, is that by ignoring something that you're automatically enrolled into that program. That's not how it works. Just delete the email, move on, because I've spoken to people and the results that they get from those percentage off deals are worse than they would normally. So you're better off running your own 10% off coupon or your 10% off sales marked out. At least then all the funds that you get from that is assigned to you and not eBay. Because like what Liam was saying is that it doesn't get captured at point of sale. You get a bill, 3 or 4 weeks down the road saying...
try 6 weeks down the track.
Yeah, well, that's right. I've never participated in one, so I don't know. But you do get billed further down the road. And it could be like this gentleman and paid $1,000 to eBay because eBay doesn't tell you, all right, this person used this listing, this is... Yeah, they could potentially be taking you to the cleaners without telling you. So,
and that's the thing, because you've got no idea. And that's one of the main reasons I won't participate in them, because I did once and to give it a try and didn't work. But there's still no transparency, because you just get this bill and you have to accept that that's how much you've got to pay. There's no proof of what you're paying for. So, to me, that's a no-go.
And I don't think that, don't get me wrong, I don't think eBay's taking you to the cleaners, taking the piss, right?
No.
Imagine what would happen to the ACCC that was Australian Consumer Commission and all these different things. But, they would take eBay to to Clown Town. They would literally dismantle them for taking anything along that. But what we're talking about from a transparency point of view, they don't give you like an itemized invoice saying, all right, Grumpy Granny account 123 bought this for $1,000. She used the coupon. You're paying $130 of that. So these are the things you take into consideration. And especially if you've got big ticket items, if they're using 15% off of 1,000 items, and you're paying 13% of that as a member contribution on top of your promoter listings, on top of your eBay fees, so that could potentially be like $280, $200, $300. What you're actually losing in that transaction. So you could be taking 30 or 40% out of your transaction, depending on your fees. So please, if you're going to listen to me for one thing only, do not participate in those things.
And I'll give you the one thing I want you to listen to me about, and that is if you are posting a question in the Facebook groups, like be respectful enough and be polite enough to actually respond or at least react back to the people that reply to you, like as long as they're not being arseholes, of course. But, we put our time and effort into replying to your questions, and if it's not what you want to hear, you ignore us and skip on to the next one. And that's very frustrating from our point of view, because we're telling you, like, in good honesty and
in good faith. Yeah.
In good faith, that's right, the answer, and we just get ignored. And you skip over to the next one. And I mean, it might even if you don't agree with what we're saying, it doesn't hurt to do a like. Like do a thumbs up.
And I suppose I'd put another level on top of that as well. Is that don't gravitate to people that just hypothetically you might see Leanne Grogan or whatever you pronounce your last name in the chat, and you go, oh, that's Grumpy Granny. I'm going to take her for gospel, right? Because I know her because she's on YouTube and all these different things. A lot of people that have been reselling longer than Leanne, and this is not a dig at Leanne, I'm just using her as an example to stop people chasing me down the street with a stick. Is that if you recognise that name, it doesn't necessarily mean they're correct, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong, right? But they don't hold any more authority than someone that's been selling on eBay for a long time. A lot of people that sell on eBay and are on YouTube, they know a lot of stuff, don't get me wrong, but they don't know anything. Like, they don't know everything, right? So where that Jason Rummage, for example, he's been selling on eBay for a long time, and he's on the eBay panel and all these different things, and he did all these different things, but he has really limited the social media aspect, right? But you might see Brad Kane, for example, like, Two Aussie Thrifters, and you're like, well, I'll take Brad's over Jason. But on the grand scheme of things, Jason probably knows that little bit more than Brad does. So, and it might be in his specialty. Like Jason does a lot of video, a lot of trading cards and all these different things. So I know Brad does as well. But Jason might know more about that specific question than someone that you might recognise. So.
And then you get someone like Rob, who is my partner in the Reseller Live that we're doing on Thursdays. I mean, we call Rob the king of policy because he is. He knows policies inside out. And, you may not like the answer he gives you, but he's going to tell you what the policy is, and he will actually usually link the policy in so that you can see for yourself. So he's not going to tell you something that's not in the policy or try and mislead you, but you don't like the answer.
Well, and that's another thing. So, if you are reselling, and by all means, this is probably make and break, right? You need to learn the policies. Like, you need to read them at least once and be familiar enough. You'd have to be like Robin, just have no life and just read reselling policies for the rest of your life, but be at least attuned to enough of them to basically get by. You shouldn't be running your business on the basis that you hope that someone answers you in the next 15 minutes on Facebook, because you literally don't know where to go. And not so much now, but in the last probably 2 years, I used to see like photos of at thrift stores or op shops and all these different things saying, hey, look, should I buy this, or should I buy this, or should I buy this? In isolation. I used to do it to my group chat all the time when I moved into clothing, because I had no idea, right? But like, that was in isolation, right? So it's not as if I take a photo, then what about this? Then 2 seconds later, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? You're going to piss people off. By all means, ask a question and say, hey, look, I'm moving into jeans. I found this pair of Levi's. I'm not too sure if they're fake or real. Can you give me some advice? By all means, all those different things. Ask that question. But if you start going through the rack and taking photo of every bloody item on the rack and asking what you think or how much you should sell for, all these different things, you're not going to make it as a reseller. You're not going to last long, and you're going to be shunted off to somewhere else. So.
Well, because I mean, ideally, if you can't actually at least go and watch a YouTube video on how to use Terapeak, for example, and look, I have a video on that. like just saying, you can go and watch it on Grumpy Granny Flipper. You can go and watch Tekken Sports One. He tells you how to do it. There are lots of people that will tell you how to look up stuff up on Terapeak, for example. And if you don't know what Terapeak is, go and watch a video on YouTube. Type in Terapeak, Terapeak, and see what it is. Because you're not going to be a reseller's arsehole, to be honest, just to put it out there, because you're not even doing your basic stuff, because we can't we can't spoon feed you.
Yeah, and what I find as well is in a lot of Facebook groups as well is I don't like watching YouTubers, or I don't like doing this and all these different things. But YouTubers is where you get a lot of stuff from. And like I said previously, is that I didn't even know the YouTube space existed, right? The reselling space existed in YouTube for a long time, for about probably 10 years, to tell you the truth. Yeah. But my accelerated growth would have been a lot quicker if I had probably engaged in that reselling space. And by all means, don't just be like, believe everything that you get told. Everyone's got their own objectives and own I suppose their own I can't think of the word, but objectives, right? So basically their own what motivates them, so basically if they tell you something, there's a good chance that there's something in it for them. So basically don't go off every word people say. Like if they're doing something, then all of a sudden they do it like a paid advertisement. So, hey, look, join my group, or join this Discord, or join all these different things. You need to look at the legitimacy. Like, were you being, and this is go back to that morals as well, is that were you being fed the truth, or were you being fed something to get you in that emotional state where you want to help that person, or you think you should transition? Like, that. Even I'm guilty of it, right? Like if I want you to do something, I'll manipulate you until I get what you want to do. It's called social engineering. Like I said, but it's just that I don't use it for bad. I'm not saying anyone does, but if I want you to basically do something, or more often than not, if I want you to steer away from things that are going to destroy your account or anything along the lines of this, I'll word it in ways that triggers your brain to do it. And it's called social engineering, right? So it's like kind of like, if you look at it at the basic level, it's hypnosis. Like but people do it all the time, right? So they basically they get you into some sort of emotional state, whether you're ecstatic, you're happy, you're sad, you're pissed off, you feel sorry for them, you resonate with them, or you just, oh my god, the octopus really annoys the hell out of me. Whatever he says, I'm going to do the polar opposite. And if I'm playing that part, I will do that, and I will take advantage of it. So that if I want you to do the polar opposite of what I'm saying, I will do it from that perspective, or vice versa. Is that if Grumpy Granny's upset, or she's doing something along this, I might feel sorry for her, and then I'm more in tune to what she's saying and basically doing what she wants to do from that perspective. So you need to be very mindful of, I said morals, because especially if they're in the YouTube space as well. So, and
be mindful with YouTube too, because J Ride Flips I watched one of his videos last week, and he was saying, and the actual title of his video is quite like a negative thing, like, oh no, this happened, and so you go, because you want to know what happened and it's bad, so you go in and watch it. But he said himself, like he that's the title he used, so he'd get people to start watching. That wasn't what the video was about. Like, so just it's all.
Well, point. I was talking to Uncle Wayno and my beloved Twelsy Thrifters and everyone else in that group chat this morning, is that I was doing a TikTok in the video in my car, right? Because I'm doing this new series of TikTok in the car, doing a little thing. Got out of the car, walked over the drain, and my keys fell down the drain. So then,
apparently Grumpy Granny might have fallen down the drain as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah, well, I haven't seen that yet, Granny.
I'll have to watch the video to find out.
That's the follow-up. But basically, long story short, is that I just whipped my camera out and did a short saying, hey, look, my keys are down the chain, and all these different things. This video's outperformed the ones that I actually do to try and help people. Like, it's just bullshit. Like, it's drama. All these different things. Where on the flip side is I say, hey, look, this is a Pokemon game. This is a fake one. This is a real one. This is what you look out for. They get 2,000, 3,000 views as shorts. But this one, me just dropping my keys down the drain, it's already up to 2,000 views on TikTok.
And I said to him, you don't need to go and drop your keys down the drain to make this sort of content, honestly.
I suppose from my stance is, and what I enjoy about the YouTube space is trying to educate people, right? Like, I'm not trying to, drag people around by the ear saying, hey, you need to do it my way, or some people are saying that I'm absolute and all these different things. It's just that my background, right, that you don't necessarily need to agree with what I'm saying. I'm just putting my stance forward. If you don't do it that way, or it works for you by not doing it that way, good. I don't care. It's just that I suppose my show, my way.
And that being said, if you'd like to come into Grumpy Granny's Discord, and I'm sure Octo will put the link for you, because Octo's going to have his own little space. He already has a Skylander space in there, but he's going to have his own little space where there's going to be a place you can actually go and ask him questions.
What's right?
Yeah, his special brand of answer.
I was about to say you can get berated in those different things, but like I said,
exactly.
I'm not going to say I'm 100% correct 100% of the time because that'd be just ludicrous, right? But I will never try and lead you down the garden path for my own benefit, unless I'm trying to sell you crypto coins. So by all means, go Octo coin number one.
Dear.
Yeah. So basically, but like I'm saying is that if I give you an answer, it means that's the answer that I would do in my situation, right? So I'm not going to create a hypothetical, or if I don't know, I'll either, if I've got time, I'll go research it and let you know, or alternatively, say, I have no idea, go find it out yourself. Yeah, because I'm not invested enough in your business to run it for you. I don't care. I don't want to see you fail. I don't want to see you, financially ruined or have your account banned. But on the flip side is, I don't care if you buy something from $8 from the salvos, then you can only sell it for $4 because it was a bad buy. Live it, learn it, and move on. But on the flip side is that if you and we'll get that bag out soon. I know you're salivating about it, but if you come across something like that, I'll be ecstatic for you. I'm like, oh my god, this is phenomenal! You really, kind of thing. So like I said, that.
And I will say, I will say that, like, Octo is really good with that sort of stuff. And that was probably one of the first sort of big interactions I had with you was when I bought that manga books and stuff.
I had no idea what collection. I thought it was the adult toy collection you picked up.
Yeah, I had no idea what I had, and like you reached out to me, and it was pretty amazing. But like I said, actually, it can be quite helpful at times.
Yeah, I suppose Rob and I are similar vein in the sense that we don't like bullshit, right? So we're not
exactly.
We don't do padding. So, but don't take it offense. And I've always had complaints about this in the past, my previous careers, is that I don't care how your day's going. Like, if you've got a question, you don't have to go, oh, dear Octo, hope you're well, hope you're fantastic, nice day. Just get to the point. I've got this Skylander. What do you think it's worth? What can I do with this? Or, it's got a broken leg. What do you reckon? 9 times out of 10, if it's got a broken leg, throw it in the bin. But if it's that $500 one that I was showing you the other day, it's got a broken leg, you probably still command a couple $100 out of it, which is pure rarity and all these different things. So, but like I said, don't. And by the flip side is that I'm not going to ask you how your day is or how things are going unless I'm genuinely interested. So
because the thing, we don't have time for that fluff because we're still trying to run a business. So,
That's right.
Yeah.
But anyway, but I want to before we go onto the bag, I do want to bring up. I will be ducking out for a second. I'll go get Minion J to come help me with these different things because Minion J is my little go-to man.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is. Oh, that's right. So basically, I'm going to get Minion J. So I'll say goodbye to you all now. Grumpy Granny's going to go into her grinding Grumpy Granny's gears. Look at that. I've been practicing that. So she's going to tell us what's pissing her off this week. I'm going to go turn the camera off. We're going to yell out to Minion J. Minion J! So I'm going to go and Grumpy Granny, you can take it over. And I will Minion J, we'll see you soon.
Right. Good day. Well, boys and girls, we need to start being a bit mindful and being a bit wary with sending stuff via Australia Post, I'm going to say, and people not collecting their items from the post office. What's actually happening is two things. Either A, Australia Post is getting their item, they're not actually delivering parcels over a certain size, which I know my local post office does. They hold everything at the post office. They will put a card in your mailbox and then you have to go and pick it up. However, a lot of the other post offices aren't actually putting the cards in the mailbox. They are sending you a notification via email or via text message. And if you've got 200 odd text messages on your phone that are unread, that notification could get lost, right? So what actually happens is Australia Post will only hold your item for 10 days, waiting for your buyer to go and pick it up. If they don't go and pick it up, then they'll return it to you. Now, what happens is they then put up an item at not received case, and highly likely they will get fully refunded because I went to do it this morning, went to refund someone just the cost of the item, not the cost of the postage, but it wouldn't let me. It wanted me to refund them the whole thing. I then had to spend an hour on the chat with eBay trying to get that sorted. I did eventually get them to review it, and they did refund me the $9.99. But it's not my fault. I've provided the tracking. I've uploaded everything correctly. I've sent it off correctly to the correct address. I have no control over whether Australia Post is actually delivering my parcel to your door or is holding it at the post office for your buyer to go and collect it. So I think it's going to make it harder for us because we're going to have to start keeping an eye on the things that aren't already delivered and go back and check and look at the tracking and see if it's being held at their post office, and then contact their buyers and tell them you need to go and pick up your item. It's waiting for you at the post office. Because otherwise we're going to finish up getting this, and then they're going to get to the point where eBay is not going to give us that refund of the postage, and we're going to lose out big time. I mean, it's fine for me. I got my item back. It was returned to me, so I can resell it. So that's fine. The buyer was okay and could see that it wasn't my fault and did acknowledge that. But I should not have had to refund them the full price of the item plus postage because, that wasn't my fault. I did all the right things. I shouldn't be down the cost of shipping. So just be wary of that. And I think going forward, it's going to become a bigger thing because it seems to me it's happening a lot more lately. And it seems to me that, as I said, post offices are either perhaps only delivering parcels to your door that are under a certain size that they think will fit in a normal mailbox, or like they're not going to stop and go and put it at your door, right? Or they do go to your place and see it's a block of flats and they can't get in, or they look at it and, it's a big wide area. There's nowhere undercover for them to put the item. And they think, someone could easily see that. They'll pinch it. It's not safe to leave it here. I will take it back to the post office. And that is quite often what happens. But if they don't actually put a physical card in that person's mailbox, then what happens? Because if that person's not actually checking their email or checking the tracking, which a lot of them don't check the tracking until it's too late. It's just something to be really, really mindful of. I mean, I was lucky because I got onto eBay straight away, although, mind you, I did think my first response for them, even though they told me they were going to sort it out for me, the first email I got from eBay said that the item had been decided against me and I had to refund them the full amount, which was item price plus post. And I was thinking, oh, crikey. Well, I've got to record the podcast first. I'll have to deal with it later. Luckily, in the meantime, they then had sent me another email saying that, no, we are going to actually refund you the $9.99. But, it's a bit of a worry because, what if I don't get my item back? Well, then I have to go through Australia Post and try and get refunded from them. And, so if I don't get that back and then what happens if eBay don't refund me that postage amount? Then I'm out. I'm down. I've lost. Any profit in that item is gone. So there you go. Well, Josh, hello.
I was wondering if you were going to be quiet anytime. So I was waiting to inject myself. So the octopus went and got me. I was getting to the point where I was thinking, oh my God, am I going to have to keep talking? And I was waiting for you to take a breath so I could pop back in.
Well, I was getting close to saying, would you bloody just pause this and, because you can pause it, and restart it.
That's right. That's right. So basically, the octopus just went and got me to look at the lot that he went and maybe go down South Canberra to go pick up today. So must say myself, it is phenomenal. You maybe have a shave.
I was about to say, just noticing that there's something different to last week. Yeah, I
know. It's I had a haircut.
You keep Octo keeps hanging it on. Blake for being a baby face, but boy,
I was going to say, well, Blake has inspired me to, have abysmal facial hair as well. So, as my I suppose.
Look, you've got dimples. Look that you don't normally get to see.
That's right. Maybe I normally get to see. I'm normally locked in a dungeon. I don't know what you're talking about. Anyway, so $120. You made me go down and drop everything to go pick this up. So I'll give you some hints and work out what it is. So it's basically
Well, it could be a video. Okay, it's a Nintendo game. I was going to say it could have been a video
game, so they could give you an indication of what's going on. So I haven't picked up everything out of this lot yet. So you basically
that's actually a game. Yes. Oh, Teenage
Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't gone through all this, and I've only been off the top. So basically that. So also that one. So I picked up this was $120 Australian, so works out to say maybe $75 around that American, probably about £60, I suppose, from all those different things. So Ghostbusters 2 as well. So that's complete.
That'd be all right, yeah. It is very retro. The games and everything are very Kung Fu, very retro in there, aren't they?
So a lot of the boxes are in perfect condition, right? Family for fitness athletic world. I haven't looked at that one yet. So.
Well, I mean, even the labels on the things are nice, because quite often the labels when you get those sort of games are really faded and that, aren't they?
Yeah, I've said numerous times, and I'm going to do like a series of where I'm trying to rebuild my Sega Master System collection from when I was a kid, right? So Nintendo, came out the same time as my Sega Master System, which was a lot bigger in Australia than Nintendo was at the time. Yeah. I never had Nintendo. I used to go to the shops and look at all the cool art and go, oh my God, I want a Nintendo. But unless, needless to say, 8-year-old me wasn't allowed to have a Nintendo and a Sega. So California Games, I had that on the Sega Master System, so that's another one.
Yeah.
We're still going. Don't give up on me yet.
Oh, yes.
An i5 remote for the Nintendo. So I don't know what. Like I said, I haven't been in here to see what the worth is. So this I do know. I have seen this on Facebook Shorts and everything else like this is a decent price game. So Jackie Chan.
Oh, yeah.
Well, unfortunately, it's incomplete. It doesn't have the manual in it, but it does have the game, which is always a plus.
Well, yeah, that's a start.
Yeah, so like doing my comps, because I did see this in the game, right? When I looked at it, when I was picking it up for him, the game's about $100 by itself. In a box, probably about $200. The box is a bit shabby, so probably not that high. But if it was complete, you'd be looking at about $400 or $500 in decent condition. So that one's a good one.
So that one game will pay for everything.
Pretty much. And the Ghostbuster game goes from it. And I haven't finished yet. There's still heaps of games to go.
Oh.
So. To the Earth, that's a decent looking box. I've never had Nintendo in this quantity, so I don't know what these games are. So by all means, if you see something, please put it in the comment section below, because I have literally no idea what anything.
Well, I never had a Nintendo either. Jurassic Park. Well, I mean, because this sort of stuff wasn't around when I was a kid, of course. Yeah. And then, PlayStation had come along by the time my kids were little, which we had a PS1, was the first one we ever got. So yeah, yes. But I mean, I know I'm aware of some. Well, some of the titles, especially those movie tie-in ones, are going to be good. Yeah, well, like this Jurassic Park game, if it doesn't have the manual, but I did have a squiz of it earlier. Because, like I said, the stuff on the top, right? I haven't been through the bag. Like, legitimately, I haven't been through the bag to look at everything. But what was sitting on top, which is a couple of the games that I know. This one's about a $200 game as well. So, like I said, there is a lot of. Yeah, and don't quote me on that. Like I said, I've only had a cursory glance of what's actually available on eBay at the moment. I haven't gone through the sold listings, and by all means, I can show you how to do the sold listings. Or Grumpy Granny's done videos on it previously, so you can check them there. But they're in decent condition, right? So, it's fantastic. I don't know if you've heard of this game before, Mario Brothers. I don't know if that's. Oh well, yes. Well, of course, yes.
I was going to say, I don't know if that's anyone's heard of that one before. Like I said, I'm still going. 4 or 5 games in here. Trog. That one looks like it's.
Oh, I've actually heard of that. Yeah,
I've never heard of it. But Trog.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of these have the booklets in it, so I don't know. Pinball and Mac Rider.
Okay, that looks like a bit like Luigi off Mario Brothers, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, it could be. A lot of them they used to use the sprites for those. I know that. So I think that's it for the game. So, like I said, remember this was $120 or $75 American or £60. Whatever you want to do. So the console.
Look at that. That's in nice condition, isn't it?
Well, there's a game in there as well.
Game in there.
Xevious.
Don't know that one.
I didn't even know that was in there. There you go. So that one, whatever Xevious is, I don't know. I'll look at that later. But the console. I've had probably since I've been reselling, I've probably had maybe 2 or 3 NESs. I don't come across them very often. Especially this generation of video games, right? I said, that Sega Master System, which I absolutely adored when I was a kid, and I want to kind of build a collection from that. From this, I've never come across them in the wild. It's very, very rare that I come across this. I've come across obviously the PlayStation 1 onwards, but never anything really that far back. We're still going, and it's got the.
And I've seen people pick stuff up, but not in that condition. Especially even the games.
Yeah, I've got to. There you go. I'll be able to hold up a bank now and get my.
Won't you?
So like I said, I've seen this on Facebook Marketplace. I literally dropped everything and ran down. It's got all the cords. It's got its controllers and all these sort of things. But the condition, she did say to me, the lady that I bought her off, is that. It was her personal console, and she was wondering whether to sell it because look at the condition. They're not even yellowed in the slightest, right?
Yeah, there's no discoloration.
Yeah, this is probably, without a doubt, for the price I've paid, right, is that it's probably the best gaming lot that I've ever come across. There's 3 controllers and all those different things. There is some of the carts have got her name on the back. Well, that one doesn't, but some of it's got white ink, or I don't know what you call it in the States or overseas, but I'll just get a bit of, maybe something just to dissolve it, just to take it off, just to make it a little bit presentable. Because like I've said in previous times, is that when you sell carts or you sell games or something like this, and Rob was saying it in your live on Thursday, Leanne, was that don't spend too much effort if it's low price, but make it look presentable, right? Give it a wipe over, make it look presentable. Especially, I don't know how much this game is. It could be like $5 or $500 for what it's worth. But I would treat that game the same if it was $5 or $500. Clean it, make it look presentable, and then you sell through rates there. A lot of people complain about selling, and you go look at their listings and their shit. They're just taking it in a dark room because Granny can't afford an electricity bill, and the photos are just as bad.
That being said, with the whiteout too, quite often you can actually just get that off with a little scraper, because it's just like a chalk paint type thing.
There you go. So there's a lot of cords there as well. So I haven't tested anything. Like I said, that was the first time I've gone through the bag just to see what's in there.
Wow.
So
good job.
That's one pile. And that's the other pile.
Wow. That's a lot.
$420, so I'll bring it down over there. So that gives you an indication of what's over there. Plus the console, plus 3 controllers, plus the zapper, and whatever the hell this thing is. But like I said, it's...
Well, that's a joystick, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a joystick.
Look, a very phallic looking joystick.
So I won't say anything further for that. Incriminate myself. But like I said, that's probably the best Facebook Marketplace thing I've come across in a very, 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 very long time. So definitely out there still. Like I said, that this lady just wanted it gone. It was just by chance that I messaged her as soon as it came up. Like literally, she goes, "Yes, I just listed it. Are you interested?" "Yes, I'm coming right down. What's your address?" So if you do come across something like that on Facebook Marketplace, my tips are be first. Don't, like Graham and I were talking about this the other day, is don't offer them more money just to be a jerk, unless this is severely underpriced, right? We can't just. I'll have heckin' Steve chase me with a stick. But the fact of the matter is, this is probably reasonable. I probably would have paid $250, $300 for this lot, right, from a reseller perspective. But like I said, that. Be there first, and get the address. Like more often than not, when someone gives you the address, they're not going to interact with anyone else because they're not going to like not that I would, but people are quite worried about saying, well, if I told Leanne I'm going to sell it to her for this, then I've given her her address, then someone's offered me $400. They're not going to go back to, because you got that security perspective, especially if it's a bit different if they say, "Hey, I'll meet you at the car park of Walmart or Big W or Woolworths and stuff, or a police station." It's a bit like, you can do all those different, but if they actually give you a house address, you've almost locked the sale in. I'm not going to say that, by all means trash their house if they back out, but it's more of a done deal. So try and secure the address as quickly as you can. When can you come? I'm coming right now. Literally drop everything, get it there, because if you're at work, and I see this all the time, is that, when can you come pick it up? Well, I finish work at 6 o'clock. I'll go there. It's probably too late. Because someone will say, 1 o'clock, say, I can come right now. These kind of deals, you need to drop everything. I don't care where you are. Get an address, go straight there. So. Yeah.
And look, oftentimes there are people who are just getting rid of them just to make space, or they're downsizing or whatever. But, sometimes people are selling stuff because they need the cash. And so someone else coming along and saying, well, I can come right now, means that they can go and do what they need to do with the cash, several hours earlier. So it's just,
Well, and that's right. And it comes down to actually not flaking, because a lot of people, and you probably find it yourself in Facebook Marketplace, not so much you, Leanne, but if you're selling something, it's like, I'll be there on
items I can get on Facebook Marketplace.
I'm free on Thursday. I'll come around and do it. And well, today's Sunday. We're record. I don't necessarily want to wait 4 days when someone can give me the money now and have it out of my house, kind of thing. So, like I said, either basically lock it down then. So you need to get, do whatever you can to just basically get it through there. But anyway, I think the octopus is calling me. He's telling me to hurry up and get off. So anyway, I think we've had enough for this week, Leah. You can hear him in the background. He's quite ferocious. Flailing his tentacles around. So anyway, we'll see you next time. I've got to go back to editing the video that's coming out tonight, or on Sunday, the reaction video of Jamie, the everyday reseller. The octopus did screw something up, so I have to interject in there and fix one of the things that he had a swipe at him about. But anyway, we'll catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.